know that hockey is the biggest business in Canada among the major sports, and by a considerable margin. Not only because you've got count them, seven NHL markets in the country, and you've got $2 billion franchises within that, the $1.45 billion Toronto Maple Leafs and the $1.35 billion Montreal Canadiens. There's also no question that soccer is the biggest grassroots sport in terms of participation, but a sport that's sort of increasingly snuggling itself into position between those two, with strong grassroots and an increasingly robust professional elite, is hoops, basketball. And this is absolutely the sunrise to a bull market for the sport of basketball in this country. You not only have the rise of the Toronto Raptors in the NBA, increasingly large television ratings there, 1.7 million Twitter followers, a lot of social media engagement among millennials and other young fans. But you've got a G League team, a Gatorade League team, the former developmental league of the NBA, in the form of Raptors 905, playing at the Hershey Center in Mississauga. And now, as of May 2019, you'll have 6 markets in the inaugural season of the Canadian Elite Basketball League. And one of the key players in that league is Director of Western Canada Operations, Lee Genier, former Vice President of the Calgary Stampeders of the CFL, former President and CEO of the Saskatchewan Rush of the National Lacrosse League, and someone who's been kind enough to join us regularly here on the Sport Market. Lee, it's interesting. I want to talk to you about the context of basketball, but before we do that, you've got we have the podium powered by Purica here each and every week on the Sport Market. You've had your own podium over these past few weeks. The Chantal Vallée story, being named head coach and general manager of the Hamilton Honey Badgers, first woman in professional basketball to hold both positions. You've got your New Era merchandising and apparel deal, and you've also got your new partnership with Basketball Canada and the FIBA designation as First Division FIBA affiliate. That's quite the podium of sport business storylines. Would I be putting you in a tough spot to say what do you think is most important of those 3 stories?
Well, they're all really important to us, Tom. Each one of those is, looks, at building, the key foundations of our league. One, with the announcement of, with Chantal as head coach and general manager, here's someone who was, hired on her ability, and just happens to be female and, has made international headlines around the world. So that, that in itself was, a major story. And as we continue to build out our business and, just talking about the business of sport, our New Era partnership, this brings together the apparel, that our players will be wearing on court, and of course all of our fans, right? And the brands that we've put out there that people really have taken a loving to, and normally I'd say liking, but people just love our brands. And when we launched the partnership and we went on sale, in some of our markets we're already selling out of merchandise, which is fantastic. So those two stories, but are fantastic. And then to lead into the partnership with Canada Basketball really elevates us to a completely new designation, right? And at the top of our game. So they're all equally important. I'm going to say one is different than the other, but again, it's all building that very strong foundation of our league.
We're talking to Lee Genier, part of the front office of the Canadian Elite Basketball League. He'll focus his efforts on the Western Canadian franchises in Saskatchewan, Edmonton, and the Fraser Valley in Abbotsford. Lee, it's interesting because you guys deserve to feel very good about the methodical way and the very efficient and effective way you've rolled out your business plan so far. You started well ahead of the May 2019 launch. The New Era deal would have been a good deal in and of itself, but because you're basically rolling out these very attractive animal names and brands that are very popular to kids and actually young people of all ages, if I can say that, it makes it even more important because New Era plus your branding should create a really strong presence for the league in not only your 6 markets, but other markets across Canada.
Yeah, absolutely it will. Again, it's they're going to become iconic brands across the country, which will be very galvanizing for the sport of basketball. And right now as we move towards our launch in May 2019, looking forward to that and what's beyond as well, because we have some incredible other announcements coming up too that will just strengthen our brand at CEBL and at the team brands. And really one of our goals too is expansion as well in 2020, where there's discussions with 4 cities right now. So I see us moving to 12 teams at some point, which really tells the story behind this of how well we're entrenching ourselves across the country.
Last one for you, Lee. Could you have picked a better time to basically launch as a new basketball professional league in this country? Is there any doubt in your mind that this is the sunrise, the dawn of the golden era of Canadian basketball at all levels?
Absolutely. With everything that, since I've joined the league as president and COO of Western Ops, Tom, I've seen this league grow, and in my mind it's actually surpassed some of even my expectations, and that's how it's flourishing incredibly well. So it is the right time. You've like you say, you've alliterated to the Raptors and their success, and I think that is a great jumping off point for us to really bring this to light, and bring it to reality. So I don't think there could be a better time. And with the way our season tickets, our merchandise are tracking right across the country, it's fantastic. So there's been a great response from fans, players, coaches, and even on the international community as well.
Lee, really appreciate you bringing us up to date on those 3 huge announcements. Keep up the great work. Give our regards to Mike Morreale, your Chief Executive Officer, John Lashway, overseeing Eastern operations, and the Hamilton Honey Badgers. And we'll look forward to talking to you again real soon.
Thanks. Thanks for having me on, Tom. Always a pleasure.
All the best. Have a great rest of the weekend, Lee.
Thank you very much to yourself as well, Tom.
That's Lee Genier, who is the president COO of Western Canadian operations for the Canadian Elite Basketball League. Make no mistake, every Raptors win, every playoff series win over these next couple of years is a win for the Canadian Elite Basketball League. Every Canadian national team qualifying round is a win for the Canadian Elite Basketball League. The more Canadians get excited about this, the more the sport will thrive at the grassroots, the better the context is for a startup league. And listen, make no mistake, what these guys are trying to do is not easy. It's far from a sure thing. 6 teams under central ownership, 3 in Eastern Canada, 3 in Western Canada. But I'll tell you, so far, so good. They're doing everything right.